Hi guys, welcome to the last video of my marathon series. Today I'm going to recap how it went, what I went through and what I learned from it. So, leading up, the whole time coming into the marathon that morning, or even maybe the night before, I wasn't really nervous. Some people think about the task at hand and, it might seem really daunting, doing 42 Ks. But I don't know, for me mentally, going into it, I don't really think about those kind of things. My mindset's just, all right, I'm going to do it. And somehow I work things out and I make sure I get through it. Also, with my injuries, that was always on my mind, and so that maybe took away from some of the nervousness. Yeah, and also it didn't help. Just before the race, when we got there, we parked at my work, and parked in the building, but I didn't have a alarm code, so I set off the alarm, which also made me have to call managers and make them come into the building, and yeah, so that was a bit distracting that morning. So at the start line, we got there quite early, but an hour before, so we had ages to wait there, go through our thoughts and stretches and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so me and my dad were there at the start line in Papamoa. So, and it was cold, but perfect running conditions. Overcast, a little bit of rain, not too hot, but a slight wind, but nothing crazy. So I mean, enough for you to cool your body down during the whole run, and not overheat you and make things worse than they actually could be. So what I realized at the start line, and it was a cool initiative that they were doing. I'm sure all marathons do this, but I didn't realize this until I actually saw it, was that they had pace setters. Now, little groups of people, runners with a couple of pace setters with a number on their front, and their back, which showed you how fast they intended to run the race. And they also had this balloon attached to them, so you can see them from far off and know exactly what pace you're doing and how you can do that, do your time. So I thought that was pretty cool, but initially I brushed it off because I was like, oh, I don't know what time I'm gonna get. My goal was always 4 hours, but with the injuries, I just wanted to finish, maybe go 5 hours or something like that, in between somewhere. So I didn't know where I was. And then so the race started. It was going really well. Now along Papamoa Beach, there's a lot of grass. So what I try to be strategic and run on the grass as much as possible, just because it lessens the impact on your body, and it delaying what I knew was coming. That's muscle soreness in the knees. Also, I was worried about the Achilles, and making it. I was planning ahead basically. So for the first maybe 10 Ks, I saw the 4 hour pace group and the pink balloon, up in the distance, and I was doing a good time. So they were about 200 meters ahead of me, but I wasn't intending to keep up with them. I was just intending to keep my own pace, get my breathing going, get a rhythm going, and just see where it took me, because I didn't know where I was physically at that point. But then after about 15 Ks, I was catching up to the 4 hours group. So I thought, oh, okay, look, I'm doing really well. I'm feeling really good. And so I actually caught up to them. And so as I was catching up to them, I could see, all right, look, I can maybe actually do this. I could do 4 hours. So I could see that balloon, and I was determined to get there. So, I sped up. I was basically like a hound dog, chasing that rabbit. I was gonna go for it. And I intended to, keep with that group the whole time. So after we finished Papamoa, we ran around the Mount Manganui, which was awesome. A little bit distracting because there was other people there walking around at the same time, but I mean, what awesome views. Yeah, really interesting track. So after Mount, we got to about 21 k's, but there was a lot less grass for me to actually run on, and so maybe for the last 8 kilometers, at that point halfway on, it was all concrete. It was really hard, and so worryingly, I was starting to feel my knees, my Achilles as well, um, and my hips. Basically, any joint from belly button down, it was aching at that point. So yeah, about 22 kilometers onwards, I was starting to get sore. And so until about 27 k's, I was really grinding my teeth. I was like running like this, basically. You know, that's how much pain I was in. That's how hard it was. And yeah, it got to about 27, 28 k's where it was so bad that I was slowing down quite a lot, and that group of with the pace set of 4 hours was just getting further and further away. And as much as I tried, as much as I was determined to keep up with them and try to make it to the finish line, it was still 15 k's away or 14 k's away. So yeah, it was really really tough, and then it got to a point where they were 300 or 400 meters ahead, and my body just broke down. Basically, it was to a point where I had to stop. I had to rub my knees, had to rub my Achilles because I couldn't really put any pressure on it. It was just really really bad. So any sort of foot elevation and then impact was just really really hard. So basically, I stopped, started, hoping to maybe shake it off a little bit, but it wasn't happening. So basically, I decided to power walk it because I was like, okay, I've done most of it, about over 2/3. I was like, if I power walk it and then maybe run some easy bits on the grass, I could get a decent time. Maybe definitely not 4 hours, maybe not 4 hours 30, but just over, something like that. But even on the grass, even on the little bits, my body was just like, look, it's not having it. So yeah, I just power walked it basically. The last 14 k's. And it was tough because it got to a point where we were running around this watery bit, and I could see almost the finish line, or the uphill bit across the water where it led to the finishing line, and it was really really far away. I was like, geez, I've got to walk a lot. It's still definitely not over. I've got to put in some effort. So I walked for a while, power walked it, feeling good. So I got across, I went around the water and was leading up to that hill bit where I was going into the finish line. But then when I was across the other side, I could see my dad over the other side, and he looked in pain as well. And I've never seen him normally he's a really good runner. He's never had knee issues or impact issues, but I could see him walking as well. So what I decided to do was like, look, I'm not going to get a good time. The 4:30 pace runner went past me, and the 5-hour one went past me as well. I was really slowing down then because I knew my dad was there, and I slowed down for him as well. So the 5-hour pace setter went by, and what I did was I just sat down and waited for my dad. Well, I bet no one's really done that before in a marathon. Maybe sat down and just relaxed. Well, I guess people do that. So I sat down, waited for my dad, and when he caught up, he actually thought I finished. and he thought I went back and tried to support him or whatever. But then he was a bit surprised that I was still doing it. What ended up happening was that his lower back was really really sore. He's having back spasms, and he couldn't actually, almost at the same point where I was, where he couldn't run. The impact was just hurting his back too much, and we were just power walking. So what we decided to do, at that point, it was about 2 Ks away from the finish line, and we just decided to walk together and all the way to the end, and maybe do a dramatic little run to 200 meters leading up to the finish line. But I tried. I think I power walked faster than what I could run, because my feet were shuffling really low to the ground, and it wasn't really putting any impact on. But as soon as I wanted to run, my knees went up higher, and I was just not having it. So yeah, there were some funny photos at the finish line. I'll post some up on the page, and you can see me and my dad at the finish line, which will be pretty funny. Yeah, so official time was 5 hours 19. Yeah, to be honest, I really care at the end about the time. So I'm not too disappointed. Overall, I'm stoked that I finished. To be honest, I was always going to finish after at that point where I started to walk. So and I was always going to start the race, no matter how bad the injury was coming into the race, even though it was all right. So on reflections, what I've learned from this whole process, the whole journey, doing the marathon, leading up to the marathon, was a lot of things, and then they came to light during the actual run, right? Preparation is important, training is important. So first thing I learned was, don't go, have a goal, but don't, be devastated if you don't achieve it. Or don't put too much pressure on yourself for achieving it, because at the end it's just gonna maybe make you a little bit worse. So that's what I learned when I was running with at the start, before I caught up to the pace setters of 4 hours. So I was like, oh, I'm feeling okay, see what happens. And then as I caught up with the group and I was running with the group, they made it a lot easier, because everyone had that same goal in mind. So what I learned was also, it's good to be with people with the same sort of mindset as yourself, or as the goals that you want to achieve, or being in the supportive group like that. So like this Defy group, the whole, it's a bit of support. We're all in this together. We're trying to make ourselves better. And so, it's really hard doing anything on your own. So it's a team sort of atmosphere, and that's how I felt with that group of runners, that 4 hours runners. There were all sorts. There were 70-year-olds in that group, and there were kids like as young as, I'm sure, 15 or so. So there's a big age difference. All sorts of physically looking people, but they were really good. And we didn't know it. I didn't know them, but I almost felt the support of them wanting me to keep up with them, and we were taking turns to overtake each other, especially on the narrow paths. So it was really good. But yeah, I'm sure if I could physically have done it, I would have easily probably done the 4 hours. And it was because of that group. And also, yeah, so the other one is, sometimes the things are going to happen along the way, just like my injuries. Just remember that why you started in the first place. So for me, it was, just a challenge. I like the challenges. And also maybe a bit of redemption for the Auckland Marathon, even though, it was never on my mind, but it only started being on my mind after I signed up for this. So, have goals in mind, but don't be too devastated if you don't achieve them. You know, you'll still be a lot further when you finish than where you were at the start. So I mean, and then that's just another stepping stone or stepping point to maybe something different, and then you just keep improving, improving, improving. So yeah, well, I want to thank you guys for the support. There have been a lot of messages and, you know, positive vibes that I've been, encouragement as well, which really helped. I actually was thinking of the group for Defy as I was running. I was like, look, this will be awesome. I was thinking of all these different learnings, things I could learn from the experience as I was actually running, like the yellow, the pink balloon that was the pace set. I was like, oh, that's like a target for me, you know. And I knew you guys knew about the 4-hour goal, so I was like, okay, I'm determined to get there. Maybe that's why I was grinding my teeth and, you know, hoping to get there. But then also, as I was walking, I started to realize other things as well. So Defy is definitely, and you guys have definitely helped me out along the way. Thank Capri and Ollie for all their contributions and the support as well, and their videos. So basically, this whole marathon was done so I could maybe inspire other people to do something different and challenge themselves as well. And yeah, I mean, show you guys that it's not easy, and you know, even people that regularly exercise have difficulty as well. So you'll find your own difficulty. There's not a straight A to B, you know, journey. There's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, and that's normal. So don't expect anything different. And if it is A to B, maybe you haven't challenged yourself hard enough, or maybe you should do something different as well. But yeah, so hopefully I've inspired some people, especially those that have never done exercise before and want to do something. Go out there and just do it. Challenge yourself. I mean, you'll definitely thank yourself after doing it. I'm thankful that I did this marathon, and yeah, what a journey. I've got a medal, but it wasn't about the medal. It was about, you know, the whole process. Thanks a lot. I'm sure I'm going to do something crazy as well next time, so I'll maybe do a video series on that. Not sure what it is. It'll probably be another impulse decision, just like this marathon, but I'll let you guys know. Awesome. Thank you.